More bass. Feeling it like bass. Hey guys, it's Slynk here with another Feedback Friday episode. Today let's start off with something a little bit different. I had a comment on my last Feedback Friday video from Dan, and if you remember from Feedback Friday episode 3, he sent in that song and I thought it was, some of the notes were a little bit weird, but he's wrote me a comment saying that he's made some changes and he'd like it if I checked it out. I actually like that really low note you did at the end of that phrase. It's really cool. But yeah, it's cool that you guys are taking my criticism constructively and actually actively trying to improve your songs. It's cool. And I know some other people were talking about how they thought the note was right or how it was a dominant second or something. I'm not the greatest with musical theory, but you know, I just was voicing my opinion. I thought it sounded a little bit off. I guess so did Dan, because he's changed it and he said it sounds a lot better like that. So thanks a lot, Dan, for showing me that. But let's get started with another track. We're going to give you feedback on what I think is good or bad about the song. Let's choose our first one from the newest submissions. All right, well, I'm just going to click the first link here. Aliash, Call My Name, an electronic song. All right, he's linked me to the EP, but we'll just listen to the first song, okay? Kind of reminds me of that old PlayStation game, Wipeout, where you fly those spaceships. Drums are really punchy, puts the tension. That snare sounds really good actually, I like it. Got a bit of a breakdown. I was actually half expecting there to be some like floaty female vocals there. Look at that, there it is. Well, sort of sample-based vocals. I would almost put that little singy note there right at the start of the breakdown. This is really cool so far with the actual build up, and when it drops I feel like you could have added more tension. There was heaps of tension leading up to this breakdown. It'd be cool to see more tension leading up to that drop. Let's just rewind a bit. Yeah, maybe like you could have that rising note and then like a bit of a white noise kind of turning up, and then a quick like drum roll, which might have been cool. And then I think first impressions of the drop, it sounds really cool. I was like, oh, this is sweet. I think after listening to it for a little longer, it sounded a little bit dry. You have like some floaty plicks and plocks in the background that are quite reverby, but the bass in the front seems like it's a bit dry. Let's have another listen. Yeah, I think in some of those like parts where you've got a slice taken out for that little silence section, I really like that. The end of a reverb tail in that silence section would sound really nice. Or like a, you know, like a backward snare going into like when you come back in or something like that. I'm kind of just, I guess I'm just sort of throwing some ideas out. The production sounds really good. something isn't quite sitting right in the mix. I feel like the drums and the melody aren't like married together. They feel like they're quite separate. I'm not sure why that is. It might just be some of the melodies and things like that on top have a certain reverb, but the drums aren't like mirroring that reverb, and the drums sound really dry, so they almost stand out. It doesn't feel like one song. I think a little bit of reverb on the drums basically is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like just make sure everything has the same kind of wetness and style. I like the notes. I really like the notes you've used and everything like that. Yeah, see, it's very, very floaty. I'd love to hear some more of that vocal stuff in the drop as well. Like every now and then have that vocally, oh, kind of over the top of all the bass. That would sound really cool, I think. Yeah, I'd love to hear like some drum rolls and stuff in between those silence sections, just to give it a bit of variance, because it's always a bass or a melody, but it'd be cool to also have like some drum fills, you know what I mean, as well. But that sounds really cool, man. I really like it. I'd like to listen to the rest of your EP, but not right now. Let's get to the next track here. Hi there, I would love to hear your feedback on my track. What a great way to help people improve their skill. Here is my SoundCloud link. Also, thank you for all your awesome videos. Cheers. Thank you. Let's check it out. House. Progressive house. Okay, not really hearing much sidechain on those drums. Yeah, like the kick is really far back in the mix. I think for house music, it should be like right in your face.
I have lived to see a man selling another man's life.
I wonder what tempo this is. About 130, 132. We've got this ARP sort of happening, and it's been happening this entire time for 1/3 of the track so far. We kind of eased into the song. I'm not really sure if there was meant to be like a breakdown or a drop or something like that. I think, you know, for dance music, like house music, isn't that the normal thing to do? I don't listen to a ton of progressive house, aka zero. Yeah, like you should think about how you want to introduce each sound, take elements away and bring different things in and switch them around. It looks like you're layering them all up. That might be the progressive house thing. I'm not really sure. I think the clap sample sounds a little cheese. I think you need a different clap sample or a different snare sample. So far we've had that ARP going for the whole 2 minutes. That's very tiring for the listener. Over and over for 2 minutes. Even through the breakdown. Well, let's check out this build up anyways. I thought I heard a different note in that ARP. I might have been imagining it though. Oh yeah, there it is. There is a different note in there. Okay, so 2 minutes into the song, we changed one of the notes in the ARP. That's good, I guess. I think it needs more variation, especially for a song this short. I mean, I think progressive house, I could be totally wrong here. I think the normal thing to do is to have like a 7-minute song that slowly transitions between different vibes. This song seems to lack any kind of structure. It lacks like a destination, I think. I think what you should do, this might be a good idea, is to find like one of your favorite progressive house tracks, maybe something by deadmau5 or whatever, drag it into whichever DAW you're using, and just map out where things happen so that you have an idea of the structure of the deadmau5 song or whatever song you're using. You have an idea of how they structure their songs, and then take your melodies, your beats and everything like that, and try to mirror that same structure. You don't have to do it exactly. You can change things up a little bit, but just use it as a guide, as a sort of reference structure. I think you'll learn a lot quicker how to structure your songs. I can kind of hear what you're doing. Like you've got this ARP that's going, and then suddenly the ARP changes, and it's supposed to be like a big turning point in the song. You know, I have heard that in progressive house songs before, especially in some deadmau5 songs where he subtly changes the ARP and it sort of like brings on this new feeling. But maybe you need to change the ARP a little bit more. When I say ARP, by the way, I mean arpeggiator, the So I guess just learn about sidechain and get your kicks closer in the mix, get a nicer structure. I think learning a little bit more about musical theory and experimenting with a more radical change in the ARP might be a good idea. But yeah, thanks for your submission. Good job, man. Let's check out the next track here. Let's see. Hey man, I made this song a couple of weeks ago. I'm not a pro yet, but I'm trying my best in every piece of music I create. I have a lot of problems with arrangement. I'll be really grateful if you check this out. I'm a big fan. Oh, thanks, man. Well, let's check out your arrangement. We were just talking about arrangement in that last track. Okay, very nice. Sort of floaty intro. Let's see where this goes. So this is like a pretty nice sort of trap future bass song, something that you might hear on Soul Election Radio. It's pretty cool. I actually really like it. I can't really say too much about the mixdown or anything. It seems to sound pretty good to me. Maybe like you can crisp up those hats, or maybe you dulled them for this, you know, stylistically. But if that wasn't intentional, I would crisp them up a little bit. Just turn the high end up a little bit on an EQ and then compress them or something. They actually sound like your hats have been pitched down and they've sort of lost their high snappy transient. I like the sub. That sounds really cool. It's like that trap future bass kind of distorted sub that's like sliding around and really punching in. You've really nailed that. I think, again, like what might be a good idea is dragging in maybe not someone else's song, or maybe don't drag in someone else's future bass song, but maybe drag in like an acapella, like a Drake acapella or something, and build your song around where his verses and choruses are in the acapella. Because like I think this kind of style of music is based around like it's hip hop influence. So I think having like a hip hop influenced arrangement would help it sound a little bit more cohesive. This seems like a really long breakdown. Wait, 1:30? That's a 1 minute breakdown. Oh, that's cool. I like the space screwdrivers. Like I'm at the dentist or something. I'm glad you didn't put like a hey, hey on every other beat. Yeah, if you're a bit of a DJ, you could maybe add some like scratched like vocal samples or something like that here and there to give your track a bit of a theme. You know, if your track is called Reflections, maybe find like a hip hop acapella, yo, I'm always reflecting or something like that, and like scratch it up. Yo, I'm always reflecting, and scatter it throughout the track to help give your track a theme. I think if you got a really great rapper or MC to bust a couple verses and a hook on this, you'd have no problem arranging it. You know what I mean? Cool. Thanks for submitting that. It's actually really cool. Let's check out the next track. Yeah. He sent me an MP3. I'm only taking SoundCloud links. Sorry, dude. Hey, I'd like to hear what you like and dislike about this track. Thanks. All right. Thank you for submitting the song. Let's check it out. Alright, we've got a future bass electronic trap, future Madon Porter Robinson melodic dubstep song. Let's check it out. Really cool intro, I like the melody. Some nice chords there for sure, how they sort of like cascade down. I hear that same kind of chord progression in a lot of this style of music. You've pretty well replicated that. The melodies and everything sounds really cool. It's very trendy. I think my problem with a lot of this kind of style of music is a lot of it does sound very similar. I think you've got to find a way to set yourself apart. You know, everyone's using like Yoshi samples and the bed squeak and you know, how can you make this more individual, more unique? It does sound a lot like everything else I've heard in this genre. There doesn't seem to be too much content in the way of the sub range. It seems pretty crispy, like too crispy. Maybe try and balance the bass and the treble a little bit more. Wait, let's hear that again. Oh, it's like a Michael Jackson style key change. Got that haywire sort of lead sound. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we sort of just go into the same thing, but in a different key. think it sounds good aside from the lack of sub. Try and like break out of the formula a little bit and try and do something a little bit more creative and unique with your song. Like what could you do? I think you could like maybe design some cool bass lines or something so that in the drop, you know, you've got the big chords and then at like every other beat or something, it like drops into like a crazy bass sound or something like that. I don't hear a lot of future people doing that. It's more just like big super saws and trap drums, basically 808 drums and something like vocal engine or something like that, whatever it's called. This is very cookie cutter. You're not going to be happy about hearing that because I'm sure it took a long time to write. But regardless, I think it sounds pretty good aside from the sub. Turn that up a little bit. But yeah, thanks for your submission, Apollo. It's pretty cool. Let's check out the next track. Hope you can give some feedback on this. Keep being awesome, dude. You keep being awesome. All right, let's check this one out. Another future bass song. Okay. Shimmer. Okay, we're building. Wait, what's going on with the tempo there? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's kind of a weird thing to do. Spend like, you know, 45 seconds of the intro of your track establishing like a tempo and then just like give the middle finger to the listener and be like, oh, just kidding, different tempo. Not sure if that's the greatest choice. That might be cool to do at the end of the song to like keep things interesting. Let's keep listening. So we got 3 chords and we're just kind of like cycling around them. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Kind of gets a little bit tiresome after a while. I do like how you've sort of like played those different chords in a different rhythm, different pattern. You've alternated them a little bit. That's kind of cool, I suppose. The breakdown, there's no way for the listener to know that the breakdown's coming. It sort of just drops and you're like on the dance floor like, whoa, I was dancing to that, it's gone. You're like jamming. Oh shit, is that the end of the song? So maybe think about a better way to introduce or ease that transition a little bit. You know, a drum roll, an impact sound, or something like that, or a white noise sweeping up to that breakdown, something like that. Okay, so we've tempo transitioned back to the tempo at the beginning of the song. Yeah, I think this section really is not that interesting. It's just dang, 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 dang. This section was pretty cool. I liked that, but it was just a very weird tempo transition there, I feel like this would confuse people on the dance floor a lot. And same with this breakdown, it just drops. The rug is pulled out from underneath your feet. And then we go into this part and it just seems a little bit, there's just not a lot of interest there. There's not much rhythmic interest there. So I would almost take a chop here and bring this section over to the front of the track where it probably should belong, and then break down in the middle and then come back with a tempo change into this slower section for the end of the track. You know, so if this part of the song was more interesting and cool and could sort of stand by itself as a cool section in the song, it would be great at the front of the song. As the listener listens on and the breakdown happens, then when the tempo transition happens into this first section, I think it would be really cool. It would beg the listener to listen on because they want to hear that interesting change in the song, you know. It's too much change for the beginning of the song. And as far as mixdown goes, I think it's pretty good. I think I say this on every track, but maybe a little more sidechain on the drums. Yeah, I'd put some more sidechain on those drums. All right, cool. Thanks for your submission. I appreciate it. Let's check out the next song. Hi, Slynk. My name is Durissi. The link doesn't work. Fail. Let's try the next one. You need to send the secret link. So see this S-MQ blah 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 at the end? That's because he's gone to his song. Here, I'll show you. The track doesn't, oh my god. Alright, let's try another one. If my other one doesn't qualify because I used Kanye West vocal, here's another one. Okay, let's check this one out. Okay, we've got a essay here. So he said Superstitious is like a jazz funk band that he's friends with in Berlin, I think. They said it was okay to do the remix and whatever, so I think we'll be alright. And it wasn't alright. This is a few days later, and I'm sorry the video didn't come out on Friday. I got a copyright flag from TuneCore, so if you've released a song and, you know, you've copyrighted it with a distribution company like TuneCore or Distro or what is it, like CD Baby and that, then you can't send it in because I'll get a flag, okay? But anyways, I'm here with an X-Ray Ted. I got better things to do, so I'm just going to put this video out as is. Cool, thanks everyone for submitting your songs. So a lot of you people in the comments seem pretty excited about me doing a drum processing tutorial, or, you know, a tutorial on how to make your drum sound really punchy and stuff. And I'm going to get on that as soon as I have a chance. I've just been in Denver and LA DJing a couple of shows, hanging out with Mr. Bill and Sticky Buds, but I'll try and get on that the next week. I had another question here saying, sorry if this is a stupid question, but how are you monitoring without the sound going into your mic? And that's not a stupid question. I think that's actually a pretty cool question. Basically, it took a lot of fiddling with my Motu Ultralight AVB sound card here. This is the control panel, and we're on the mixing tab. And basically, the cool thing about this Motu is that it has DSP, which is basically onboard effects. And I've got a compressor and a gate activated on my microphone input here. So you can see this red light turning on when I stop talking, which kind of drops the volume all the way down so there's no hissing of just like ambient room noise, which makes the mic sound pretty good. And then when I'm playing a song, you can see my mic is actually picking up the sound, but the gate is handling the majority of it. I just don't have my speakers very loud here in the studio, and because the recording is picking up the music from SoundCloud directly over here on this channel, it all gets sent directly to the recording software, which is OBS, by the way, and that's a lot louder than the signal coming through the mic. You actually just don't hear it, but it is getting picked up. So hopefully I answered your question. I think that's all we've got time for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next week on Feedback Friday episode 5. Peace. This sound is here, and then that sound is there. Kind of turning up. Bass.